No, there are procedures that need to be gone through. There are questions that need to be asked. I mean, that's fair enough in a sense. But, I mean, what do you make of the voting public here who are just absolutely fed up to the back teeth of this?
Well, it's good to be with you too, but I agree with you. We're all fed up to the back teeth of this. The Prime Minister should have gone ages ago over this. You know, this is not a concoction from the Labour Party. He's lost his authority because he couldn't even get his own MPs to support him yesterday. The police have fined him. He has a criminal sanction against him. His own party is turning against him. With a majority of 80, he can't even get his own amendment voted through, so he had to withdraw it at the last minute. This is a Prime Minister with no authority. What this whole Partygate debacle has exposed is Boris Johnson's character flaws. He is reckless, he's untrustworthy, and he lies, and he is incompetent. These things have been exposed during the Partygate scandal, and what that means is those same character flaws are the reasons why we have, for example, a low-growth, high-tax economy, why we've got 7 million people waiting for an NHS operation, why 56,000 people, victims, are waiting for their day in court. Our public services in our country is being badly run, and the Partygate scandal exposed the character flaws that underlines all these failures.
He only has to visit Ukraine, though, or as he is in India at the moment, to make nearly every front page picture of the press. He's still very, very popular, whatever Partygate holds for him, don't you think?
Actually, I don't see the evidence for his popularity. I know that he does electrify some people, but he's a very divisive character. And of course, most people are having experiences. You know, this Friday, for example, people's paychecks are going to go down. When they land, they're going to have less money in their pockets, but all the bills are going up. This is a consequence of Boris Johnson's management of our economy, or mismanagement, I would characterise it. So I think people have a direct connection now to the impact of Boris Johnson's character flaws, and of course they can compare the way they behaved throughout the pandemic to the way that Boris Johnson behaved, because it's now likely that number 10 Downing Street is the residence in the country that has faced the most amount of fines through the COVID period. So the residence in which all of the laws were being made for COVID was the same residence that had the most amount of fines against people within it. You know, this is no way to run a country. The rest of the world is looking at us, and they are horrified by what they're seeing. So Boris Johnson going abroad at this moment in time is simply globalising the scandal that he has brought upon himself back here in Britain.
With all of this, I mean, we always get emails on this matter, and so maybe you can clarify it for us. You know, there's pictures of Boris Johnson, you know, where there's a bag of crisps and a bottle of wine on a table, and that's classed as a party. Why is Keir Starmer being pictured with a work colleague and a bottle of beer, not a party?
Because they were different times, they were in different points in the pandemic, and the police investigated both circumstances and completely, entirely exonerated Keir and said that there was no rules broken at any time, and yet they imposed a criminal sanction on Boris Johnson, and there are 12 more cases that are being investigated. So the spin that's come out of number 10 to try and diminish it, saying, for example, that it was only 8 minutes, what I would have given to have had 8 minutes with my dad on his 80th birthday. I didn't get to do that because I stuck by the rules, and my dad insisted on sticking by the rules himself. So he was alone on his 80th birthday. So everyone in this country has a story like that. So when Boris Johnson tries to diminish it at the outset, don't forget, we've got 3 inquiries that are outstanding. He's had 1 criminal sanction already, and there is the likelihood of having several more. But the key importance of this is what I said before. It has exposed the key character flaws in our Prime Minister, and we are all paying a price for it in the running of our public services and in the money in people's pockets.
What's the atmosphere like at the moment on the Labour benches? Do you smell blood?
Well, we're unified, we are coordinated, and we are really focused on presenting a better vision for Britain going forward. We are optimistic about the future of Britain, if only we can get the policies in place. So in the run-up to the local elections on May the 5th, where the public has the best opportunity to send a message to Boris Johnson, we've already released the economic plan that would make sure we can tackle the cost of living crisis and help those in greatest need, and we can get our economy firing on all cylinders. We've also, in the last fortnight, launched a crime plan so that we can get police hubs into the communities who need it the most, and we can start tackling some of the really chronic problems we've got with crime in this country. So what we're focused on is presenting a credible alternative that points to a better Britain, a better future for Britain going forward. And I can tell you, we are really energised, and this week in Parliament I've noticed a more unified, coordinated a sort of team, if you like. We're working on a team in a way I've not experienced since I came into Parliament in 2015, and I suspect for probably some time before that as well.
So unification and excitement you didn't feel under Jeremy Corbyn, who, we've got to say, is demanding he's let back into the Parliamentary Labour Party now. Is it time to let him back in, do you think?
That's a matter for the Chief Whip. That's a matter for Keir Starmer, and there are processes that deal with that. But Jeremy is not leader of the Labour Party, he's not a Labour MP, and he has no influence over the Labour Party or our policies right now. You can see Keir Starmer's leadership this week when he's spoken 3 times at the dispatch box. If you compare his performance to that of Boris Johnson, you see that Labour is under new management.
Forgive me for interrupting, but
we have the policies that are really...
It's not your decision what happens with Jeremy Corbyn, but what do you think should happen?
You have been reporting on politics for long enough to know that somebody in my position does not second-guess the Chief Whip. You know that, so there's no way I'm going to comment on what I think. It is not. It is simply not in my purview to even communicate it or even to have a thought on this. This is the role of the Chief Whip.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's worth a try, though. Peter Carl, really good to talk to you. Thank you
very much. Yeah.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.